The core of Northwestern discovery, as Lewis and Clark's band of explorers called itself, set out in the spring of 1804, up the Missouri River from its mouth near St. Louis, to finish the job started by Christopher Columbus. Now, the party at this time numbered 45 men, including Clark's Negro slave, York. There was also Scannon, Lewis's 160-pound Newfoundland dog. The 55-foot keel boat that carried them was built for the swift and treacherous waters of the Missouri. Two smaller boats, called pirogues, completed this wilderness armada. Each of the men had been handpicked by the two captains. Lewis stated his requirements simply enough.
They should be healthy, unmarried men, accustomed to the woods and capable of bearing bodily fatigue in a pretty considerable degree.
A generous Congress had appropriated $2,500 for the journey. Among their weapons, they had 15 of the powerful new Harper's Ferry rifles, a swivel gun for the keel boat, to impress the Indians, an experimental gun that operated on compressed air, 24 tomahawks and scalping knives. The medicine chest held gum camphor, tartar emetic, rhubarb, Glauber salts, and Dr. Rush's bilious pills, also a tool for bleeding the sick. The 14 bales of trade goods included calico, tobacco, fish hooks, glass beads, peace medals for the Indians, and 30 gallons of that great pacifier, whiskey. Captain Clark thought the supplies a trifle meager.
Everything complete with the stores we thought ourselves authorized to procure, though not as much as I think necessary for our road across the continent.
William Clark was Lewis's personal choice as co-captain. An immensely likable Kentuckian, he was 33, 6 feet tall, red-haired, and outgoing. Though largely self-taught, he had a natural genius for geography and for leadership. Meriwether Lewis was 29 and well-educated by the standards of that day. Like Clark, with whom he had served in the Indian Wars on the Ohio frontier, he was 6 feet tall and ruggedly built. Unlike Clark, he could be moody and withdrawn. Lewis came from the landed gentry of Albemarle County, Virginia. He was a familiar visitor at Monticello, the home of Thomas Jefferson, being a neighbor and protege. And when Jefferson became president in 1801, he made Lewis his private secretary, and together they planned the Western expedition that Lewis was to lead. The United States in 1801 ended at the Mississippi River. Beyond lay the vast territory of Louisiana, owned by France. It stretched from the Mississippi to the Continental Divide and was as yet virtually unexplored.
Come in.
The most far-seeing statesman of his time, Jefferson was determined to send an expedition that would discover the long-sought Northwest Passage across the continent and establish the United States as a continental nation. This was his third attempt. Here, in his study at Monticello, he had gathered together all that was known about the West. Much of this information was wishful thinking. No one knew for sure the Rocky Mountains were really there, but the time was ripe to find out. For in 1803, Napoleon Bonaparte unexpectedly sold all of Louisiana to the United States for $11 million. Jefferson wanted precise, detailed knowledge about all aspects of this fabulous acquisition.